God. For today's hangout, we're going to start talking about stuff in just a few minutes. We're going to give everybody a few minutes to get here. And because, you know, what I really should do is start at like 10 minutes to 7 and then take 10 minutes for everybody to like get here and get organized and get comfortable and get their drinks and whatever it is that they're going to do. But I've given you a great view today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of the backyard. See, because I was jealous of your backyard view last week. So I decided, why should everybody look at the RV when they can look out there?
Yeah.
So, anyway, but I am a guy. Guys are allowed in the comments section. They're just not allowed to be on the video portion. Only women are allowed to be on the video portion, and that's because, you know, we've had some issues in the past regarding men and their genitalia, and we're just not interested in seeing it. Thank you ever so much. Let's see, anybody out there? Okay. If you have any questions as we go along, go ahead and type them out. If anybody is out there and wants to be pictured here in the bottom of the video chat, you can do that if you want. If you want to just come in, ask your question and leave, that's okay too. Some people are more comfortable doing that. And guys can ask questions and they can answer them too. Because sometimes, believe it or not, there are some things I don't know.
Amazing.
And Joy doesn't know.
True.
And so it's always a good idea to, you know, have as much experience in the audience as possible, and having some guys in the audience that are RVers is like a good thing. So anyway, I guess it has been, it's been 3 whole minutes. So we're going to give everybody a couple more minutes to get here. Is anybody excited about the fact that we're going to talk about solar? I'm excited. Hi, Lori. Hi, Lori. Did you get my email? Sent it to you. Yeah. Lori and I, Lori Smith is on there, and she and I have talked about.
Read that comment.
The problem is I have spent so much time indoors today looking at this computer screen that my sight is like doubled. So it's like one thing on top of the other, very bad. So when I'm looking at the comments, I'm kind of seeing like a blur. It's kind of a blur thing. So I'm here. I'm here because I have a crush on the pretty blonde lady. Oh, Nana's Joy, you're so lucky.
If you call this blonde, you're blind.
Well, it doesn't matter because mine's just like any color I want it to be. So a couple weeks ago, it was pink. It was pretty funny. I put pink in my hair just as a joke, and it really didn't look horrible. And I took a shower, of course, it all washed out. Let's see. Lauren, yes, I did. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's say much. I can't see that. Okay. So because I can't see anything, Zip is here. And when I talk, he thinks I'm talking to him, so he has to come over and stand next to me. As we're having this conversation, you're going to hear the guineas in the background. And I think what's going on is I have a female that is brooding, or whatever it's called, some eggs. And so I have noticed about the last time we went through this, and she didn't produce any keats. She makes noise for about a week before she comes out, and then she comes out, and I'm not really sure what that's about, but you know, I don't understand guinea behavior. Okay, that's enough. Go. That's enough. Go. Yeah. So wanting the puppy face to be over with. And okay, so it's 5 minutes after. We're going to begin and talk about solar versus generators. Now, what has prompted this is a viewer basically asked me the question, you know, which is better? And I said, I don't know. I have one solar panel, and I want to say it's maybe 75 watts. I typically use it to charge my engine's battery, not the house battery, but the engine battery. And the reason that I do that is because sometimes I will use, like when I'm out here, I have one of those ports where you plug in things that look like it goes into your lighter. I'm so technical, aren't I? And so a DC port. And so sometimes I will use that for a fan out here, or I'll plug something else into it. The other thing that I do is there's a radio that's out here in the entertainment center, and that also runs off the engine's battery and not the house battery. Found that out pretty much the hard way. But so that is what I use that for, because I always want my engine's battery to be full. They don't do well if they're not charging. And so, and though I do run the RV every couple of weeks, it still is hard on the cars or on the engine's battery to be sitting idle like that. So that's what I use it for. Now, I do not have solar panels for my house batteries. And for those of you who are not that familiar with RVing and the battery situation, basically you have one and up house batteries. I have 3 house batteries. And what charges those when I'm plugged in is the converter, and it will keep those house batteries charged. And house batteries are different than your engine battery in that they are 6 volt. What are they? They are
It's whatever you put them in. You can put 12 volts or you can put 6 volts, but it takes 2 to get what? 2 6 volts to get a 12.
Yeah, but the point being is they're not car batteries, and they are called marine batteries, or some people use golf cart batteries. Some people use lithium batteries, and apparently you can build those. Who knew? And but what are those house batteries called? When you go into a store and say, I want batteries for my RV, what are you asking them to give you? Anybody? 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 Okay, I'll wait for the answer. So anyway, the batteries that are used for the house batteries, you can run them down to like 20, 25, 30%, and you're not damaging the battery. If you do that to a car battery, yeah, you'll damage your car battery. Deep cycle, oh my God, thank you, Lori Smith. Oh my God, I can't believe that I couldn't think of that. Yeah, these are deep cycle batteries. They're used on boats and in RVs as the power for the house. So, you know, for your little lights and things like that, they just keep everything running when you're not plugged into shore power. So you can mount or whatever batteries, solar panels that will continuously charge your deep cycle or house batteries. Now, putting solar panels, I have not done it. And here's why I haven't done it. I really have a problem with the concept of drilling into my roof. I just have a problem with that. I think that if you don't stay on top of making sure that those holes are well caulked with the appropriate stuff, then you're going to have a leak, and it's going to leak in your RV, doing substantial damage, and of course, you know, eliminating any resale value. So I just have a problem with that. And that's why I use a portable. Now, there are a lot of portables, and I'm so glad that I said that out loud. And the reason why is this: people who would like to have portable solar panels, take note. Harbor Freight for this weekend being starting today until Sunday, they have a 100-watt solar panel kit on sale for $149. That's a good deal. Would anybody like to say that that's not a good deal? That's a really good deal. Solar panels are solar panels are solar panels. This is 100 watts. I want to say it's 4 25-watt panels, and it folds up and you put it away. When you want it out, you get it out, you set it in the sun, preferably away from your RV. And the reason that you do that is so you can park your RV in the shade, but your solar panels will be charging your house batteries in the sun. And that's the other reason why I like portable solar panels as opposed to the ones you mount on your roof. Now, let's talk generator. Okay, Harbor Freight this weekend, $149. Okay, now, what's in the kit? The kit basically is the 4 panels. They will come in some kind of, probably some kind of, I mean, it's like all together. Okay, you fold them out, and the kit part is they come with different connectors on them. So they will have the little clippy things that you put on the batteries themselves. Okay, and if your house batteries are linked together, then it will charge, you know, whatever. I think they call it daisy chained. They daisy chain the house batteries. And so if you charge one, you're charging them all. So the other thing that it will come with are just different like attachments. And it's just, you know, you unplug one, you plug it in. Now, with my solar panel, it came with, I want to say, something that went in a DC port. Don't know why. Don't care. It came with little clampy things, and that's the only thing that I use is the little clampy things. It may come with extra long wiring so that you can put it further away from your RV. I don't know what's in the kit. What I know is it's 100 watts and it's $149. It's a good deal. Harbor Freight, yeah. Has HG with a coupon I saw for $189. Oh, okay. What's in the kit? Okay, I am a longtime Harbor Freight customer, and so they send me offers via, so no controller. No, it does not have a controller. You know, it is just whatever is out there. You don't know what it is, and it's going into your batteries. It's relatively simple. You don't need to like press a button and look and say, oh, I'm getting 12 whatever. You know, it, when you're charging your house batteries, you know when things have gone wrong when you turn on a light and it doesn't. That's your house batteries. Oh, it doesn't have, I did not see in the description of the kit any kind of inverter. I didn't see it. It may be there, in which case, oh my God, what a much better deal this is than I thought. So If you are looking for a 100-watt solar system for anything, you know, go and check it out yourself. I don't have a Harbor Freight within 60 miles one way, or I would have already been there checking it out. It was just there yesterday. I have to check it out. Yeah. All right, the one I saw, 489 did. So it must be another one. Okay, that could be the case that they are offering, you know, like 2 of them. Now, what I do know about Harbor Freight and their solar panels is if you ever decide to get more solar panels, they don't connect together. Okay, I'm pretty sure of that. Now, maybe if you were to buy 2 100 watts, they may have a connector that will connect those 2 together. And then you would have 200 watts. So it's a matter of just going and checking it out and seeing, but my God, you can't beat that price. Okay. Now, generators. There are a couple of generators and that ways you can go. Now, for those of you who don't know that, most Class C's, most Class A's, okay, all Class A's, come with generators. They are different sizes, but, and that's because of the amount of energy, electricity, whatever it is that generators do, provide for the RV itself. So the bigger the RV, the bigger the generator. My RV is a Class A and has an Onan 4000 in it. And I have over 1,000 hours on my generator. Now, I take very, very good care of my generator and change the oil after, I think it's 50 hours. There's a fly that's like flying and landing on my back. That's why I keep doing this. Let's see, where was I? Okay, I have this 4,000, over 1,000 hours on it. I change the oil religiously along with the air filter. It does not have a fuel filter, and it runs great. Even sitting here, even though I'm plugged into shore power, I run the generator the same as the car, or the RV itself, every 2 weeks. I run the generator for like an hour, hour and a half, just to exercise it. And you have to do that with generators, or they just, you know, cease. And you don't want to have old oil in them. And 50 hours, blink of an eye, it goes by. So, you know, changing the oil, and I've done a video on changing the oil in my Onan 4000, and there's nothing to it. If you can screw in a light bulb, yeah, you can. If you can unscrew and then screw in a new light bulb, you can change the oil in your Onan 4000. The Onan, what's the bigger one? Is it, what do you have, Nana's Joy? A 7500? Is it 8,000?
7,000.
7,000. Okay, it's got to be pretty much the same. But that does have an oil filter, and I think that's about the only difference. Is it has an oil filter. It'll have a bigger capacity for oil. My Onan generator takes, I think it's 1.6 quarts of oil to change the oil. So it's an inexpensive thing to do. Now, for those of you who do not know, I started this before, fifth wheelers generally do not come with a generator. I'm not really sure about why, but they don't. You will see people who have fifth wheelers with an exterior generator. You know, you go to Home Depot, you buy a generator. Honda, Yamaha, I'm sure there's like a zillion other makers for these little generators. And it's just a matter of how quiet you want it to be, how easy it is to start, and then, okay, that's it. Determines the price. Where did that come from? The ones that are bigger and quieter are generally expensive. The inexpensive ones are loud and they make all kinds of horrible noise. But what's great about a generator is, depending on where you are, and if you boondock, you know, nobody's going to care as long as they're not parked next to you. You can move it as far away from your RV as you want. I have seen tent campers take generators with them so that they can have power and whatnot when they are in their tents. Let's see, what else?
All these generators come in different forms as far as fuel. You can have diesel ones, you can have propane ones, you know, there's gas ones, whatever.
Yeah. Now my Onan 4000 only runs on gasoline, and it's running on the gasoline that is in my fuel tank for the RV. It was my understanding until I found out the hard way, and not really the hard way, but not a good way, that when your fuel tank for your RV gets to 1/4 of a tank, your generator is supposed to not start and or run. If it does start, it won't continue running. Now, on last year, when I was in Northern California, I was running the generator for the air conditioner or whatnot, and yeah, ran it past 1/4 of a tank, to the point where I was afraid to drive the RV into town to fill up the gas tank. And I went into town with, you know, little portable gas cans and filled them up and brought them back and put them in. You have to remember these things get like 10 miles to the gallon. So a couple of gallons doesn't get you very far. So, and I didn't want to run out on, you know, a road. So, as far as little portable generators, it's whatever you want to pay. And start it up. You know, does it start with a key? Do you have to pull a rope? You know, check them out and see, you know, what the story is with them. And as far as the more permanent Onan Onan generators, or what's the other one? Oh gosh, it's gone. It's called Gen something.
Generac.
Yeah, Generac, which is another possible choice for a permanent generator for your RV. Sometimes you can find these generators used at junkyards or used on eBay. The generator usually lasts longer than an RV, especially an RV that has been crashed. So it is possible, if you have the bin that is set up for a generator because somebody took out the generator or it didn't work or whatever, that you could put one in there. You might be able to pick up one used, which is not a bad, horrible thing. Now, given the choice of a generator versus solar, I'll take the generator. And here's why.
See?
A lot of what was that?
I'm trying to talk to you. Is Lori saying that she got kicked out and now she has no audio or video?
I would suggest, even though she has no audio or visual, that she turn her computer off and turn her computer back on. It's probably her computer that, for whatever reason, has, you know, dumped it. But if she just turns it off and turns it back on, are you going to type that to her?
Yeah.
It may just reset. you know, I don't know what kind of computer she has or blah, blah, blah. So that's what I would do, is just reset the computer. And hopefully it'll all come back on. Now, given the choice between solar panels and or a generator, I'll take the generator, as I said. And the reason for that is, like, my AC system works on a generator. It will not work on solar. I don't care how, I mean, I would have to have so many house batteries in my RV that I honestly don't have room for, in order to probably only get a couple of hours out of the batteries. And when I say that, I'm talking 10 batteries. And I would only get maybe a couple hours of AC if that was the case. The microwave in the RV, again, it's too much for house batteries to deal with. It kind of depends on the kind of RVing you anticipate doing. If I'm boondocking, yeah, nobody cares that I turn my generator on. If I'm in a campground, okay, quiet hours are usually 9 or 10 o'clock until 8 o'clock in the morning. If you are hooked up to shore power, no big deal. If you have to use your generator, I guess I'm thinking about the scenario of this. In a campground, it's not going to matter because you're hooked up to shore power. Okay, so my RV, for example, is 30 amps. The larger RVs, like Nana's Joy's RV, is 50 amps. And usually those are the two that are covered when you check into an RV park, is 30 and 50. And my AC will run. Now here's an interesting conundrum. I can run my AC whether I'm plugged into shore power or on the generator, doesn't matter. I can either run the AC or I can run the microwave, but I can't run them both at the same time. Okay, I'll blow a fuse. Which is things that you have to know when you are attempting an RV existence, is what do you have to turn off in order to get that to turn on, and without blowing a fuse. And the other thing that full-time RVers should have and part-time RVers should have is fuses. Lots of fuses of all different sizes. Look in your fuse box, see what size fuses are in there, and then go buy them. Because there are a few things worse than being in an RV, especially if you don't have a toad and you blow a fuse. Then you are driving your RV into town to an auto parts store so that you can buy fuses. So you should always have a lot of fuses. I have a lot of fuses. But, you know, back to solar versus the generator. A used generator is going to be about $1,500. Okay. A new generator is going to be about $8,000. The solar panels, the sky is the proverbial limit. Typically, you're paying $300 per panel, and a panel is 100 watts. Okay. You can get panels with more watts to them, but of course the price goes up incrementally. Okay.
And the weight.
Oh, and yeah, you've got the excess weight. And those solar panels, go pick one up. They're heavy. And you are dragging that weight around. And if you are in a region of the country where there are, okay, I don't have any clouds today, but clouds, then you're not charging your house batteries. Or if you are, it's a trickle charge at best. And so you have to plan your life accordingly oh, it's cloudy today, so I will not be doing the following things in my RV. And it's something to keep in mind. You know, it's, but house batteries, you have to have a lot of them if you have a microwave. You have to have probably 3 to run a coffee maker. Okay, maybe 2. To run, you know, just your basic coffee maker. It's probably, you'd have to have 2. The other thing about RVs are the DC ports or plugs. I can count on one hand how many I have in my RV. And I don't even actually need one hand. I have, yes, I do. The 3 that are on the dash. I have 1 out here, so that's 4. I have 1 in the bedroom, that's 5. So eventually it would be nice if I had more. These flies are making me crazy. It would be nice if I had more because I would use them, but you know, not the case. Clearing the flies out. So yeah, I see the flexible solar panels. I have been looking at those. And then let me tell you this other thing that I'm doing is there is a website, I mean, it's obviously a global website. It is from China, and like one of the richest men on the planet owns it. And they went public and I didn't buy it and I just could kick myself, but neither here nor there. But the website is called Alibaba. Now, if you go to Alibaba's website, you will see solar panels. I mean, type in solar panels, and you will see solar panels up the wazoo, and you will be shocked at how cheap they are. Now, I have not done due diligence on Alibaba, and they could be, it's like 30 cents a watt, okay, or less. They will make them to fit whatever space it is that you have. It doesn't come with all the other stuff, but the caveat may be, not necessarily, but maybe that you have to buy in volume. But I don't think so. But I'm not sure.
I was going to tell you something about the flexible paddles that I discovered on YouTube. Tito has a channel and he tells you all about this stuff, but when you were talking about installing and putting holes on, what he has tested and it works is buying a really good flexible and using eternal bond tape, and he tapes it to the roof, and he says it holds real well.
Yeah, eternal bond tape for RV is a necessity. And I've got feedback here. Anybody else hear that? I got, there's a listing of wholesalers use it a lot for Amazon sales. I don't think you have to be a wholesaler licensed like in the United States of America, where they have to bill you for everything in order for you to use anything. You don't have to give them a reseller's number or whatever. They don't care. They care about your money, and they care about when do you expect you're going to get it, because it's not going to be there then. It probably would behoove the RVing community, if it is something that has to be purchased in volume, to purchase it in volume and not have to pay so much. I mean, solar panels here, $300 for a 100-watt solar panel. Okay, you might be able to find them cheaper, whatever. There, if it's 30 cents a watt and it's 100 watts, Isn't that $30? Am I wrong? Math is not my skill. Somebody tell me. Okay, nobody's telling me. Don't make me get out. Well, I think it's $30. Okay, thanks, Deb. I mean, oh, you're not talking to me. Okay, the yeah. Why am I doing this? So you guys can talk among yourselves. Anyway, the I want to say it's $30. What's 30 times 100? What is that? It's the decimal point thing. Math is not my skill. Geez, you guys. There we go.
30. No. 3.
30 times 100. God, I can't even use a calculator. This is why I have professionals. 30 times 100, and that's 1,000. I have to start over. Aren't we glad that we're doing this instead of you guys just telling me what the answer is? It is not 30,000. 0.30 times 100. It's a decimal point thing. Why does it keep doing that? 100 equals, oh, 900.
$3,000 down.
Oh, is that $3,000? For one 100-watt solar panel? Are they talking yen or whatever the currency is in China?
Is it 30 cents or
300, 3,000. Okay, maybe that's not as good a deal as I think. Anyway, somebody go check it out. I'm going to be checking it out to see what the story is with them. But here's my point. They have the flexible ones over there. Okay. That's what I thought. 0.30 equals $30. Thank you so much. Interestingly enough, I know how to move the decimal points when you're talking millions of dollars. But if you're talking $30, yeah, I'm lost. Okay, so here is my point. The flexible ones, which are the ones that are, 30 cents a watt, and they will send them built to order. I'm thinking about taking those and putting them on windows that don't open. If you think about it, typically you're driving down the road, you're getting blasted with sun, and using the Eternal Bond to put it on the roof is really a good idea. I like that so much better. I mean, I wouldn't even care if the damn thing flew off. I would rather use the Eternal Bond tape than have them fly off than drill a hole in my roof. Seriously, I don't want to drill a hole in my roof ever. So, the point being, I think putting the solar panels on windows that don't open are a good thing. And so I have my 2-bedroom windows, just the bottom portion of it kind of comes up. And so that leaves me the top portion, which is about 2 feet by 2 feet on both sides, that I could put solar panels on. And then, wire them through the screen, don't care about the screen, into, where they're supposed to go at the battery bay. The other window that I have is the one in the back, the escape window, the escape hatch. It doesn't open, there is no screen, and putting a solar panel there, if I'm heading east or west, eventually it's going to be charging. Or whatever, if the sun is going down and it's hitting the passenger side of the RV, then I'm getting charged from the one over there. But paying less for the solar panel to me makes way more sense than drilling holes, putting up brackets, tilting the solar panels when you're sitting still, And if you're not sitting still, the solar panels may or may not be charging depending on, you know, what direction the sun is. Obviously, if it's overhead, you don't have any problems. But if it's not overhead, and how long is it overhead? Let's be generous and say 2.5 hours. When you're traveling, it simply doesn't make any sense to me to drill holes in my roof.
Did you ever see Pandemonium, how she set the last ones up?
No.
She put them over her back window, and then she set it up so that she bought a telescoping handle for an apparatus of some kind, and she can raise them up, and then she just lets them back down when she's traveling and ties them off.
And I suppose that's the part that bugs me, is I'm going to be traveling for 4 or 5 hours during the daytime, and because the sun's not right up above, my investment in my solar panels is not being as efficient and or paying me back in free power as it could be. Yeah, that and the fact that standard, very heavy solar panels are going to interfere with your gas mileage, not to mention, you know, the RVs were not designed. They were designed to slip through the wind as easily, well, without the obstacles being on top. And then we all put obstacles on top, and that causes, you know, again, less mileage. Oh, you're so dying. Land on me one more time. Okay, so bugs. There it is. And it's dead now. So, aerodynamic, thank you. Yeah. You know, these things are just big boxes moving down the road. They are not aerodynamic. And then you put other things on top of the RV that causes it to be even less aerodynamic. And not only that, when you put the brackets, you know, the brackets have the solar panel mounted on them. So the wind is going in between the two. And again, you have drilled holes in the roof of your RV. And this is constantly, if this is the wind, it's constantly doing this. And if it's not doing it from the front, it's going to do it from the side. So, okay. Here's my theory. You go onto YouTube and you put in solar panels. So you want to see people videos regarding solar panels. I honestly think it's kind of like the GoPro. They went out and bought a GoPro, and then they discovered the GoPro sucks, and so they want you to suffer with them. And I think that that's the same thing with the solar panels. You know, people go out and drop $8,000 for these solar panels to be drilled into the roof of their RV, and they want you to suffer that same fate with them. And so they push, you know, how fabulous solar panels are. Now, I've been traveling for 2.5 years with most of the time no solar panel, and have been using my generator to, you know, power stuff or recharge my batteries or whatever the case may be. And I have not felt slighted in any way in just using a generator. You have some controls with a generator. If it's built in, obviously aerodynamics are not in play. If it's a portable, yeah, you're picking it up and putting it in your RV or in a compartment or whatever, whatever storage mechanism you have for it. And no harm, no foul. The smartest thing that I have heard is using the Eternal Bond tape to tape the flat panels, the flexibles, onto the RV, and you could literally cover the RV in that manner with solar panels, which that sounds good to me. I'm just having that epiphany at this very moment. I hate the design on the side of my RV. Hate it. Would I much rather have solar panels on it? Yeah. Now, you know, would it make it maybe somewhat difficult to sit next to my RV if the sun is shining and those things are reflecting down on me, burning me up? That could be a problem. But I don't know. I don't know how reflective they are. So, you know, it's just something to keep in mind. So flat panels. Well, here's my point, and it has to do with Kirby vacuum cleaners. And I made a video about Kirby vacuum cleaners once. And basically what happened with the Kirby vacuum cleaner, and we all have seen them in our lifetimes, and some of us still use them. And if we're not using them, it's because our mothers won't give them to us. The Kirby Vacuum Company made the greatest vacuum cleaner ever. It has lasted 50, 70 years. It needs very little maintenance and is a great vacuum cleaner. That said, manufacturers learned from the Kirby Vacuum Cleaner Company in that if you make a product that'll last for 50 years, you've got no income. You have to make stuff that breaks. You have to make stuff that is crap. But it has to last long enough for people to understand that they want it and subsequently will replace it. And I think solar panels are in that game as well. Now, for my money, it makes more sense to get them as cheaply as possible. And if Alibaba is the way to do that, then that's probably the way I'm going. And the durability won't matter if I'm not paying a buttload of money for them. Does that make sense to anybody but me? Anybody? 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 Anybody have any questions? If you have any questions, you know, yes, that's exactly what it is, Betty A. Planned obsolescence. And so it's kind of like my my juicer lasted about, I don't know, 14 months. And then just magically didn't work anymore. Can't find anything wrong with it. It just doesn't work anymore. Very irritating. Wind looks tricky. Okay.
That's the way they make everything now is throwaway.
Yeah. We are just a disposable society. And people don't seem to be protesting that fact. I'm not really sure why. I guess they have never been to a dump or something. I don't know. But with the amount of people that we have on the planet, associated with the amount of trash that those people are creating on a daily basis, at some point, this entire planet is going to be one big dump. But, you know, and that's why I am obsessive about rehoming things or making sure they absolutely do not work before I throw them out and they have no other purpose. And I, you know, can't repurpose them. I rehome a lot of stuff. And by that, I mean, it's like I went through my clothes closet. Yeah, I'll be taking that big bag to Goodwill. I just don't throw stuff out so that it'll go to the landfills. I just don't do that. Yeah. Yeah. And I swear, I was reading kind of Betty A's comment, and she says, my very first microwave lasted 29 years till last year. My new big screen TV, which you should have thrown out anyway, blew up a few months ago after 5 years. And I swear to God, with all the electronics, they can actually program these things to simply stop working after a period of time. And things are not made to last. And I like things that last. Or I like them to be so incredibly cheap and sold at the dollar store that I don't care that they didn't last. So, because I can replace them for $1. So that's what I'm saying about these solar panels. For me to add solar panels to my outfit here, it isn't cost effective. I've done the math, and it's not cost effective. The solar panels do not include the installation, and if you're going to be drilling holes in your RV anywhere, you're going to want to make sure that somebody who knows what the hell they're doing is actually drilling that hole. I don't really find a lot of those people. But, you know, people just get up with their drills and go, woo. Okay, well, did they just hit wiring? Is it, you know, have they compromised the interior ceiling of the RV? You know, there's just a lot of stuff to consider when you get a drill in your hand and you start making holes and stuff. So for me, and I've looked into it, it was, yeah, it was, I want to say $3,500, maybe $4,000 for me to buy the panels and have them professionally installed on my RV, on this RV. No, I'm not spending that much money. How long, how many watts, volts, whatever, does it take before you get return on your investment? I'm thinking years. In years and years and years. And years and years and years. And I'm a full-timer. So for me to simply flip on my generator and recharge my house batteries, I already own the generator. I have to go buy gas. And in North Carolina, I paid $1.97 for gas yesterday. And I'm all about return of your investment. I want my money back. I want to make sure that something that I purchase gives me every nickel, penny that I have spent for it back. Unless it's chocolate. Chocolate's just, you know, chocolate. I don't care about return of investment there. And I guess I get it. You know, I get return of investment out of a chocolate bar. So, but that's kind of my point. It's, if I were today given the choice, you know, we're going to give you a free Onan 4000, or we're going to give you free solar panels for your roof, I'm going with the generator. It doesn't matter if it's raining or not. It doesn't matter how many days it's been raining. It doesn't matter if there are big fluffy clouds in the sky. It doesn't care. It cares about how much gas do you have and how long do you want me to run and change my oil every 50 hours. That's all it cares about. So 1.6 quarts of oil every 50 hours. That's a pretty good return on investment in gasoline. And my Onan generator probably runs like a lawnmower. You know, that's a kind of, I mean, I don't know how many miles per hour I'm getting or whatever it's called. But I kind of look at it like a big lawnmower engine. So we're all familiar with dumping gas into a lawnmower. And so that's kind of the concept, except with an built-in, it's just sucking it out of your gas tank. So, you know, I don't know how big your gas tanks are, but that's okay with me because mine's pretty big.
A lot of it, people make a decision. They have to, if they're looking at solar, they need to look at how many watts each of their devices that they run suck up.
Yeah.
And then try to figure out how much it would cost to put that system on their RV.
Yeah. And you have to buy house batteries. Okay. If you are setting up an entire system, an entire new system of solar panels on the roof, well, whatever your calculations are for the amount of power that you're going to be using versus how many batteries you have to buy in order to accommodate the use of those appliances or whatever that you're going to use. So it's a big fat math problem. And let's see, generator, push button, generator comes on.
Well, everybody's got batteries usually for house batteries.
Right. Yeah, I get that. But not all house batteries are, you know, they age just like everything else.
Well, yeah, you have, I mean, you have to have a system that's in decent shape.
Yeah, and if you don't, you're out there not only buying solar panels and the brackets and drilling holes in the roof of your RV,
Right.
but you're also upgrading your batteries, house batteries. And those are, I think the cheapest one I ever saw was like $225.
Yep. And
that was like
these bigger coaches like mine, I have 2 air conditioners. Some of them are so big they have 3. There is no way you can put a solar system on there that's going to handle all of that.
No. And I once had a 35-foot motorhome, and in the owner's manual, it said, do not run both AC units when you're plugged into shore power or using the generator. Do not run both AC units at the same time.
Right.
They didn't actually explain why. I'm assuming that it has to do with the amount of voltage that can run through the wiring of the RV itself. So I don't know. I'm not an electrician. I am not good at electrical stuff. And I can do the simplest of things. But once it gets into stuff like that, yeah, it is all a big fat flyby for me. I don't know. And so I require professionals. To put solar panels on my roof, I require a professional. I can't do it. I don't comprehend it. If somebody can explain it to me like I'm 5 years old, I can probably do it. But they're going to have to do it over and over and over again because there's something about electricity and plumbing and my eyes just glaze over and my brain drops into the fog bank. And it's just, yeah, I don't get it. Don't understand it. Oh my gosh. It is 1 minute until the end of this show. This went by really fast. Does anybody have any questions before we go? Anybody? I was taken to task by a viewer who said that I ask questions and then I don't give time for responses. And I reminded that viewer that, you know, if somebody wants to come on and ask the question and then, you know, stay on for the debate or whatever, you know, they're more than welcome to do that. But, you know, this is video. And just sitting here waiting for somebody to type a question, you know, wouldn't be a feasibility or a possibility. Okay. I don't know that we answered any questions with the debate versus solar versus generator. I don't know that we did. I don't know that there really is an answer. I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I like my generator. I take care of it and it takes care of me. Solar panels, you know, the one solar panel that I have that's plugged into my house or to my engine's battery, it does a fine job. So I know. So, you know, if solar panels are something that you want to be like more green, because they are more green, but you're paying a lot of money as usual to be green. And it's kind of like saying RV. You know, if you say, how much is an air filter for my car? Oh, it's $6. If you say, how much is the air filter for my RV? Oh, it's $26. So being green, being organic, all comes with a price tag. And it's unfortunate, but true.
And they're going to make it a lot harder. All the new coaches are going to 100% electric.
No propane?
No propane.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yep.
That's very, very bad. Now, I thought the new RVs, I'm going to have to go to an RV show. I thought the new RVs were making it so that your generator could run off shore power, gasoline, or propane. And that, like, in case people don't know this, my refrigerator in my RV runs on either propane or shore power or the generator. Okay, and it's automatic. I don't think about it.
They're putting all residential refrigerators in, so they don't run both ways.
Oh God! And yet, a residential refrigerator can be converted to propane.
They're not putting propane on these coaches.
Wow. Have you figured out why?
I don't know. That's the going thing. I just watched a bunch of videos on new coaches, the 2018s that are coming out. They're all electric. They're putting those induction stoves in, everything.
Oh my God. I better take better care of my RV. Yeah. I'm going to be, well, I guess I could get one that's, you know, a few years newer. And for those of you who do not know, I have could be a 98, could be a 99, Winnebago Brave.